What if one simple question could set up a storm online and people from multiple communities started clashing over it? That's exactly what happened, and you need to see this. I came across this video, and honestly, they are going viral everywhere on TikTok right now. It all started with a young man asking question that might seem harmless at first, but instead of just sparking a casual conversation, it touched a nerve with Black Americans. They made it very clear, and that's where things get interested. Reaction poured in, comments, stitches, debate, all happening at lightning speed. People were calling out misinformation, confronting stereotypes, and challenging ideas in ways you don't believe. What's really fascinating is how the single moment blew up across multiple communities. You will see difference in perspective, moments of clarity, and even a few surprise along the way. Some responses are sharp, some are educational, and some make you stop and think, why do people still get this wrong? Before we jump in, my name is Faith and you're welcome back to Chat with Faith. If this is your first time here, I'm glad you found this channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a conversation. And as always, credit goes to the original creators for every single clip used in this episode. This video is for educational purpose and awareness. It is not meant to hate or discriminate anyone. The goal is to discuss real challenges and perspective openly and respectfully. We've got more clips and conversation coming your way. So stay tuned. Let's chat.
Yo, do Black people ever be like, yo, I want to be friends with like a white guy? Cause that's like different and cool, you know? Do they do that? Do they think like that? Cause as a white person, I'd be thinking like, I'm mainly friends with white people. And it's just like, you know, it would be so cool to have like a brother best friend, you know? Right?
Black people don't think about white people at all. And why this is so confusing for white people is that in order to be racist, you have to be obsessed with the thought of somebody being black in order to wake up every day and hate us and hate our existence and try to oppress blackness. It is not a part of our culture to think about white people, to want to aspire towards assimilation to whiteness, to emulate any parts of white culture, or just think about anything y'all got going on. We have way too much going on in our lives, surviving and existing amongst each other and in this country that has been trying to oppress us and subjugate us since inception of us here, than to be thinking about what y'all got going on. And as someone who went to a lot of white schools growing up, and I do have a lot of white friends, I can guarantee you, if my parents didn't put me in a situation to go to the schools I was in, I probably wouldn't have white friends, because we don't think about partnering up with y'all in the same way that you want us to think you're cool. It's like white people want black people to think, oh yeah, you guys are cool. Like, it's weird. It's just like the young Republican group chat where they were talking about black people, about raping us and killing us and lynching us. It's like every signal chat, like the girl recently saying, I can't wait to bring back segregated schools so we can get the real stuff going on. Black people are not sitting around thinking about ways to get rid of white people. We are just trying to live and survive and be in community with each other. You guys need to focus more on yourselves and be in community with each other. That's the problem. Y'all are so individualistic that y'all are going fucking crazy because y'all don't have a community. I've never once in my life said, I think I really may want a white friend. What are you talking about? I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, little bro. I'm sorry you think we're cool and you want a black brother, you want a black friend. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Don't fetishize us. And that's the problem. Like, the obsession borders fetishization, which borders like mania, which then internally makes y'all feel crazy. And then it comes out as racism. Listen, it's a lot to unpack there with your video. But to answer your question, nah, bruh. We do not think about you ever at all. And when we do, it's only when y'all do some really fucked up weird shit online or in person and we have to respond to it. Other than that,
the reason why I don't have no white friends is because they are passive aggressive people. I said what I said. They are. The amount of times I could tell you a white person has brushed past me without saying excuse me, literally said some weird shit out of their mouth, and I had to tell them what you said, ask them what you said, like check them about it, is insane. Another reason is also that a lot of white people lack self-awareness. They lack it so bad. I understand that we are living in a white supremacist society, but watch how y'all act around people or how y'all talk to people. Some of y'all lack self-awareness, and it shows each and every time. And not to mention, like, I feel as though for me as a black person, I'm obviously self aware a lot of times because I know how black people are perceived on the media, in society. Wherever I go, I know how black people are perceived or how a black person is perceived as. However, being around white people, you realize that they don't have that same problem. So they are able to do and say whatever they want. And when they get too comfortable, you gotta start checking them. Period.
I saw a video saying that white people and black people are not friends because most of the time white people are not willing to go to black spaces and share their cultures with them. White people are normally only okay with having a black friend as long as that black friend is fully dissolved in whiteness and only goes to the white spaces and white events with them. And as a person of color who's living in the United States and has been in lots of white spaces, I went to school. I was in a very white centric state, and I went to school and I married one, and I have worked with a lot of and I have really lived amongst them. And as a person of color, I want to tell you that for a long time, I felt like I was really accepted amongst the white people, but then I realized I'm only accepted when I act like one. Like my white family, my white coworkers, classmates, friends never ask me about my origin, never want to know more about my culture, never celebrate my events with me. They just want me as long as I don't show 1 ounce of non-Americanness. And I'm only accepted and included when I'm acting like one, not my wholeness as a woman, as a person who's not from this culture is not accepted. And I find the white liberals the most insufferable group because they think they're doing so well. They think they're doing so well. They can't, like, I find them the most ignorant one because they are so assured of themselves that they've done well. They don't even question how they might appear to other people. They don't question that.
I do. I I I'll speak for myself. I do. I want to find the original this video this dude told about. Hey, the black guys think about being friends with white people versus because I'll speak for myself. I want to be friends with white people because white people made all these goddamn rules. White people made this entire system so they know the game. They have the money. I need some. I need some rich, wealthy white people friend. I'm a me. You teach me the rules of this game, how to move around, help my pockets. I will absolutely teach you Spanish, seasoning, how to cook, dance. You want to learn bachata merengue? Cool. It's a win-win friendship for me. It's a give or take. One hand scratches the other one helps my pockets and my family.
I think there are two reasons why people don't like Black Americans. The first reason is very obvious to me, and it's because Black Americans call shit out. If you're a culture vulture, if you disrespect them, if you steal from the culture and try to reinvent it as your own, they will call you the fuck out. If you are a non-white person that's letting white people walk all over you and be racist towards you, they will call it out. But y'all don't like a mirror being held to you. You don't like accountability, and you don't think Black Americans have any right to check you. The second reason is because the parasite class has made it their mission to demonize them because they have been the ones fighting white supremacy, the thing that they need to be wealthy since they got here. And now look, fascism is winning right now. It's all over America. You're being attacked by your own military. But Black Americans chose to sit down, and y'all are clutching your pearls because you don't know what to do.
Now, I'm not saying it's right either way, but white people historically in the United States and around the world have done lots of things to black people to make them not want to be around them. What have black people done to white people to make them not want to be around them? I'm curious.
Lately, people have been assuming that I have white friends, and I have become more and more irritated because it's really offensive. And before you're like, oh, why is it offensive that people assume you have white friends? Let me show you the school I went to. I do rep my W gear at least once a week because I am proud of the school I went to because I'm proud of myself for graduating. But this is the type of shit I had to deal with, and this is why I don't have any white friends, especially from W. Because what do you mean you held a visual for Charlie Kirk? These were the same people that were happy that Trump won that first election that he won. I had to walk around campus next to a whole bunch of white people with MAGA hats on. Do you know how comfortable that is for me? You think I could trust any of those white people that went to this school? So when people assume I have white friends, yes, I get offended. Because that means I would be a coon. And I never want to be labeled one of those. Okay? If I became friends with anybody from that white school, they wouldn't be able to be trusted. I'm sorry. Like, I wouldn't trust them. Because if not them, their family. If not their parents, their grandparents.
So this is for educational purposes only. The question says, why do black people hate white people so much? It goes both ways. Let's talk about it. Let me tell you why it doesn't work both ways. Never has there been a time in the United States in which black people had structural power and the ability to weaponize that power to discriminate and hate against white people. However, there was a period of time, a long period of time in the United States in which white people hated black people for nothing other than their race and had the power to do something about it. White pride is rooted in white supremacy and was birthed out of a place of exerting power and control over other demographics of people. Black pride, on the other hand, was rooted in surviving oppression. Black pride was the conscious collective effort of a community to stop the erasure of culture and history. Any hatred, vitriol, and distrust by black people for white people is a natural byproduct of years of systemic oppression in the United States. The pathway forward to building that bridge and regaining that trust is for white people to not only acknowledge the egregious acts that the United States government committed against black Americans, not only acknowledge the wrongdoing of our ancestors. Most white people have done that part. They're starting to acknowledge history, but it stops there. They will say that's a long time ago, this is now. The problem is today, white people are still feigning ignorance and they're not actively working to stand in solidarity and dismantle the tools of oppression that are still in place today. Most white people, particularly white people on the right, will tell you that systemic racism does not exist today. In spite of the mounting evidence and data, right now in our country, there is this yearning for this kumbaya, can't we all just get along? The problem with that line of thinking is that it's very superficial, it's surface level. In a perfect world, we just say, stop the hate, end racism, everybody get along, and voila, everything will be back to normal. The reason why that never works is because there is something much larger and nefarious at play that profits off of our division. Till we, and when I say we, I mean particularly white people, because black people have been screaming this for years, until we address the institutions and systems that are perpetuating this racism, we will never affect change. You know, there was a time when I used to hear black people say, screw them saltines, I'll say it mildly. But I used to get so mad until I understood the root cause of black pain and black anger in this country. It wasn't until I got educated, I deconstructed and re-educated myself, that my whole worldview and perspective changed. I will never say any form of hatred or bigotry is okay. But if I see hatred coming from a marginalized community, from a group of people that have historically been oppressed, I will try to understand and empathize where that hatred is coming from and do the work to do what I can to de-escalate and defuse that hatred and turn it into love. But that takes a whole lot of work in earning trust, and I don't know what length people who look like me are willing to go.
befriending or dating white people when you're black or mixed with black is honestly really fucking scary, because like you never know if they're truly like racist or have like racial like deep-rooted tendencies like until it comes out. Y'all could just be chilling, everything's going great for like 8 months, 2 years, and then one random Tuesday they hit you with, oh my god, look at that black girl's hair. And now I'm just over here like, or they say some shit like, damn, you know, maybe they could stop being so violent. And they never have anything wrong with the statement until like they see the look of horror on your face, like, and then they start with the, oh, I didn't mean you, oh my gosh, no, I'm so sorry, I just like you know, like there's some of them that do that, and like, you know, I just really think they shouldn't do that because like that's messed up, and like we don't do that. The whole time they're just digging themselves like deeper in the hole. And it's like, see, this is why like a lot of black people just don't date or befriend white people, and it's not because we're racist, it's because we don't want to feel the heartbreak that's going to follow after we figure out that you're racist.
Having white women friends is like playing Russian roulette as a black woman. Mind you, I have like 4 white girls that I am a ride or die for, but they're always on probation because they're white. They could always choose their whiteness over their womanness or anything else that we have in common. I cut off my friend of almost 5 years because she was dating a Republican, and it was the best decision I made in regards to that friendship because I found out that she was posting sympathies to the man that died yesterday. A man that said that if his daughter was 10 years old and she was that he would make her have the child and carry it to term. A man who has said vile things about black women, black people, immigrants, queer people, victims of gun violence, ironically. And this person claims to be liberal, claims that she cares about reproductive rights and women's rights, queer, like she has friends in all of these categories that have been disparaged by said man. And I remember it was a few days after the election last year, and I was like, hey, so who did your partner vote for? And she was like, I don't want to talk about that right now. Like, my grandma just died. I'm like, that isn't relevant. And as someone whose grandma later died a few months later, I would have answered the question like it's not that deep. Actually, it is that deep, but it doesn't affect how I would answer that question. But I'm so glad that I asked, because I don't care how much I love and adore you. You don't give a fuck whether I live or die. If you can have sympathy and empathy for someone who wishes that people like me, other people that you claim to love, etc., deserve horrible things to happen to them, don't deserve rights, deserve death, public executions. He literally said that some people deserve, that we need to bring back public executions, ironically. But the fact that you can sympathize with someone like that proves that you are not a safe place for black women to be friends with. And I wish more people understood that. If you can lay in bed with a man who voted against not only your rights, but other people that you claim to care about, you are not safe for me. And that is why you need to be stricter in friendships. Pick your white women correctly. My white girls, I love y'all, stay in line. But my white girls, I don't play about, and they don't play about me.
I have a real question for y'all. Do you really need white friends or friends outside of the black community? Because I really don't see the need for white friends. I don't see the need for no friends outside of the black community as a black person. What exactly do they bring that you can't get from your own people? I got black friends that go to raves. I got black friends that's into anime and quirky. I love anime. I'm into anime. You know what I'm saying? I'm heavily anime. I got black doctor friends. I got black lawyer friends. I got black accountant friends. I have a lot of holistic black friends. I just want to be in nature, hippie type of black friends. Hell, I'm one of them. I have the intellectual friends. You know what I'm saying? I have the friends who have actual, real connections. I have millionaire black friends. What exactly do I need a white friend for? I'm African, but I have a lot of different African friends from different, countries in Africa. I have a lot of black friends from, different parts of the United States. I don't really fuck with a lot of them because majority of the time they don't come from fully black communities, so we don't really relate, a lot. But I have a wide variety of different friends who are different in personality and all of that. So why exactly would a black person need a white friend or a Mexican friend or any of that? I don't see the need. I don't have any. I don't have any white friends, no Mexican friends, none of that. All my friends are black, African, of the African diaspora. So why exactly do you feel you need this proximity to whiteness? What do they bring except what certain white their white privilege? I don't need that white privilege around me. I don't give a fuck about that. So why exactly do I need white people around me? I have well educated black friends. I have, friends who are extremely articulate. I have friends who are, masters at negotiating and, speak so eloquently. I have black friends that can get me out of situations if I so needed to get out of a situation. So, why exactly do you need white friends? For what reason?
The whites don't even see you as American. They see you as second-class citizen from Africa. This is why they call you African American. The difference between black Americans and Africans is we don't give a fuck about what white people see us as or what white people think. We do not care. We don't worship whiteness. Not in 2025. When they threatened us with segregation, majority of us said, bring it on. We don't give a damn. We not walking up to them. White people care about black people in America way more than we care about them. We're not trying to get invited to their cookouts. We're not trying to force ourselves in their spaces. Not in 2025. That's not what's happening. White people are constantly minding our business and coming up to us and asking us questions and wanting to be included and wanting to be invited and wanting to know what we got going on. Have you ever seen Karen videos? White women, they be obsessed. Obsessed. Utterly obsessed. We do not worship white people like y'all. A lot of y'all uphold white superiority. You ever want to see what leave it up to one of y'all. We don't do that bootlicking shit over here. We don't care what they think or what they consider us. We know what's on our birth certificates. I know what it says on my passport. I know where my lineage comes from. I know where my ancestors come from. It's a psychological mind trick to think that white people are fucking superior to you. There ain't no motherfucking white person superior to me. That hatred, that shit is love. Love and hate lives on the same spectrum. They love us so fucking much. They're so obsessed that it brewed into hate. A lot of it is envy, jealousy, admiration, inferiority. Not all, not all, not all. Spread love is the Brooklyn way. The fuck?
So what does all this really tell us? When you watch these videos, one thing becomes clear. Black Americans have learned over generation that trust is earned and not given lightly. Day in, day out, they face system, communities, and people who have often degraded or failed them. And that history shapes how they respond today. Some of the clip I shared might seem only loosely related, but they illustrate same pattern. They show that Black Americans are cautious about who they associate with, why they don't feel they need to seek validation from white people. Unlike some other communities, this isn't about arrogance. It's about experience and survival. It's about understanding the loyalty, togetherness, and respect are not automatic. Black Americans value trust, teamwork, and collective strength. And when those bonds are broken or manipulated, it creates real consequences. They have seen people spike or betray trust at the worst possible moment, and that teaches them a lesson. Be careful about who you let in. The videos about deportation, the reactions, and the stories shared by those affected are also highlights of larger realities. Choices have consequences. Policy, politics, and voting decisions shaped communities in ways that are deeply personal. And right now, some people are starting to see results of their decision, whether they expected it or not. So at the end of the day, what I want you to take from this is simple. Black American caution is not about hostility. It's about protecting themselves, their communities, and their legacy. It's about knowing that not everyone can be trusted, and that loyalty and respect must be mutual. Think about that as you reflect on these videos. And remember, understanding context, history, and life experience is key before passing judgment. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share your thoughts respectfully. See you in my next video.